It's a Friday fact. Friday. It's a Friday fact, yeah.
I've been waiting all week for this.
A new fact every Friday. It's a Friday fact.
Good Friday, everyone. Today's Friday fact is about Bruno, an open-source, Git-native API testing tool to automate unit tests for our Azure API Management APIs directly inside CI/CD pipelines. This replaces the need for Postman while giving us a much tighter integration with our code repositories. Bruno is a free, open-source alternative to Postman. The key difference is how it stores your API collections. Instead of a proprietary JSON blob in the cloud, Bruno saves everything as readable.bru text files on your disk. This means your API tests live right next to your code in Git, go through the same code review process, and require no cloud account whatsoever. It also has a built-in JavaScript test block, which is what lets us run automated assertions in a pipeline. Getting Bruno working with APIM is a four-step process. First, we export the API definition from Azure as an OpenAPI v3 file. APIM doesn't have a native Bruno export, but OpenAPI works perfectly. Second, we import that into Bruno, which auto-generates a .bru file for each endpoint. Third, we set up an environment file with our API-based URL and a placeholder for the subscription key. And fourth, we add test assertions to each request file. Once this is done, the whole collection goes into our Git repository. Here's what a typical test block looks like. In the Bruno desktop app, you write these tests directly in the Test tab using plain JavaScript. No wrapper needed. That's only in the .bru file. We have three core assertions. One checks the HTTP status code. One checks that our API is responding fast enough. And one makes sure we're actually getting JSON back and not an HTML error page. These are the minimum viable tests for any API endpoint. You can add more complex assertions against the response body once you know your exact data shape. Here's how this plugs into Azure pipelines. The pipeline has 4 steps: install node, install the Bruno CLI via npm, run the test collection, and publish the results. The most important things to get right. First, CD into the collection folder before running bru run. Bruno won't accept a path argument. Second, inject the subscription key via the env block as a pipeline secret variable, never hard-coded. Third, use format GUnit so the results publish cleanly into the Azure DevOps Test tab. Once this is in place, every deployment automatically validates your APIs before reaching production. To wrap up, 4 things to remember. 1. Bruno stores your API tests as plain text files in Git, making them a first-class part of your codebase. 2. Export from APIM as OpenAPI and import into Bruno to get started quickly. 3. Keep your subscription key out of the repo entirely. Use Azure Pipeline secret variables and inject it at runtime. And 4. When setting up the pipeline step, always CD into your collection folder first before calling bru run, and use GUnit format so results appear in your Azure DevOps Pipeline dashboard. Thanks for watching.